Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've stopped by my YouTube channel. I'd like to start today by giving a huge shout out to all of our new subscribers who have joined our community over the last couple of days. I'm hoping you find this resourceful and you get a lot out of these videos. So, let's go ahead and get started with our Christmas card corner. So we're going to make a Christmas card today out of this template that we made yesterday during Template Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to open this up so I have our recipe or our directions here. So the first thing we need is a card base. So I've got black, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give this a good burnish so that it lays flat. And then we need a piece of white for the inside. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then for our cardstock that goes on the outside, we're going to use gold. So we're going to put this as our first layer. And then we're using the Modern Christmas Suite today. The pattern paper as well as the stamp and die set. So we're going to use from here the 'Tis the Season, Merry Christmas, and our little tree here is cut from the die that comes with this. So let's get started here. So first thing we're going to do is put down our piece of foil paper. Let me find my seal. I'm going to use seal on this. So we'll go ahead and get some of that put around here. If I can get it to roll. There we go. Okay, I'm going to open this up just so I get a better view when I'm trying to line this up and center it. So we're looking, this has got a very tiny border around. So something kind of like that. Let's see if it looks good on our, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to press that down. And yeah. Next piece, we're going to stamp on this piece and we're going to stamp on our little piece here of pattern paper. So we're going to do some embossing today, so that's going to be fun. So this will be our next piece that we put down, so that goes right up here at the top. This is our first piece of pattern paper. So we'll use some liquid glue on this one. And we're just going to put that right up here at the top. And we're just going to wiggle that around a little bit, just so we got it straight. I think it can go a little more to the left. Okay, there we go. So we'll give that a good burnish down. All right, next thing, let's go ahead and do our stamping and embossing. So on the front, or on the inside piece, I'm going to put Merry Christmas. I'm going to do that in black stays on. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. And just get this piece put down. So I'm just going to ink our stamp up here. And make sure I've got a good coverage of all the pieces here, all the little intricacies. On this stamp, oh, there we go. Let's see, it often looks like it's not really covered, but it ends up it is. Okay, so let's see what we get here. We might have a little bit too much ink, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this down. And we're gonna give this some pressure. There we go, perfect. All right, that turned out well. All right, so let's get this ink put away. Okay, next, so this is gonna go on our inside here in a second. this is our little piece of pattern paper. I'm going to take the Versamark, and I'm going to take our 'Tis the Season stamp. But before we do that, I'm going to take my little embossing buddy here, and I'm just going to run this over this. So this is just a pouch that comes with the embossing kit that has cornstarch or something in it. It helps it get the static off of your piece of paper. So it's always a good idea to use that before you start stamping with Versamark. So let's ink this little stamp up here. And we are going to line this up. I'm going to try to get this in the middle. Whoops, sorry. Okay, take two. Let's wipe our little mess up there. Let's try this again. I have butterfingers today. Okay, so I'll get this down right here, centered the best I can. So we're going to just go with that. Give it a good second there to transfer. Okay, now I know you can't see that, but I can see it, so it's on there. Okay, next, let's close our Versamark up. I'm going to take gold, metallic gold embossing powder here. I'm just going to take a piece of scratch paper here that I've got, and I'm going to put this on here, and we'll take our embossing powder. I'm just going to sprinkle this over that. Give that a good flick there. And this is the time to make sure that there's no stray pieces. I don't see any. It looks like we did a good job with our embossing buddy. So let's take 2 seconds here and put our embossing powder back in. And put the lid on this. And then I'm going to grab my heat gun. Now, just going to give this a second to get warm. I know you'll be able to maybe not hear me, but this won't take too awfully long. I'm just going to go over this, and we can watch it as it starts to turn. There we go. See, get this edge over here. Okay. That didn't take long at all. So, very beautiful. Here we go. Okay, so that's what we're going to put at the bottom here. So, we're just going to give that a second to make sure it cools down and dries. We're going to put this on the inside, so we can go ahead and glue this up. And we will put that right down here. Get that centered up. That looks pretty good. All right, now let's go ahead and put this piece now onto the bottom of our front. And we're just going to put this right down here. So I'm going to leave a little gap between this and the piece above it, so our pretty gold shines through. Okay, give that a little press. Okay, let's build up our front piece here. So I've got this black piece that I cut out of the Spotlight on Nature dies. And this is just a piece of pattern paper. And this looks like this is about a 2 1/4 inch circle. So we're going to put this in the middle of our cardstock piece here. We'll just give that a little minute there to stick down. Okay, now next we've got our little tree. First of all, let's pop this circle up on the front. So we're going to take some dimensionals here. And let's pop this up. Give this card some depth. And then we'll put our tree on and some bling and we'll be done. So, not too bad of a card. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to center this up. Just something like that. And then we'll get our tree put on here. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this. And we'll get that laid down just like that. Try to make sure it's straight. Okay. And the last thing we need is some bling. And I have some neutral adhesive back sequins, and I'm going to use these gold ones here so that we can have some more gold, because you know you can never have too much gold, right? So let's put one there and one here and a little one over here. And there is our very pretty Christmas card. Let me make sure our tree is down there. Okay, so there we go. 'Tis the season and Merry Christmas. All right, let me show you a couple of other examples that I made. And so this is the one we did today. I've got this one here. This is out of some retired paper from last year. I just cut this, specifically made at a point to just cut the candles out to put on my focal piece. So that worked. And then on this one, this is the Peaceful Garden. This paper is still available. So I cut the little dove out here and took some Misty Moonlight ink to kind of ink around the edges of the dove so you could give it some color. And then I used my Wink of Stella to give it some sparkle. And so a season of wonder and happiness. So we're wishing you. And the last one, this is also retired paper from last year. Although the scrapbooking workshop for this Ranger paper is still available. Last time I checked. So we just did, again, 'Tis the Season and Merry Christmas. And then I cut out this little deer from the dies that were in this set. So there are our 4 cards. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And drop me a comment. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. I really like the deer. But I'm a sucker for gold, black, and white. So I guess I like them all. But let me know which one you like. And don't forget to ring that bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video. Our next video is going to be on Friday for Funfold Friday. So I will see you all then. Have a crafty day. Bye.